Good morning, everybody. Jim Feist and Hank Goldberg here in Las Vegas. Hank, it's not so sunny out here today. It's actually a little cooler. It feels better today.
Yeah, it does. A lot of rain last night, though.
You know, I didn't see the rain. I didn't get any up here. I'm up on the mountain, but
rained hard where I am.
Well, that cuts into the humidity a little bit, so that's good. What did you think of the Clowney, Texans, Seahawks, Dolphins trades and changes?
I think it gives Houston the division. They want to win now. I thought they made some great moves. I don't think they needed Clowney as much as they needed the right tackle they got, or the tackle they got from the Dolphins. They needed protection for the quarterback, and they got an outstanding offensive tackle. The Dolphins are just tanking. And he was their best offensive lineman, and he was a top draft pick for them a couple of years ago. And so they got Hyde, a running back they needed because Miller was hurt. They picked up a very good wide receiver. They really built up their passing game. But I think Clowney was not happy, so goodbye to him. And they got plenty of defense, but they really needed help in their offensive line, and they got an outstanding offensive tackle. And so I think they improved themselves, and they're not done. They're still looking to sign more players. They're looking to win right now. And I thought that they did themselves a lot of good.
I agree. I think the addition of Tunsil and Stills is going to make a big difference for them, especially now that Luck is out of the division. It opens up the floodgates for them. It's a clear path if they just play well. Seattle, I think, helped themselves too because they needed that end rusher. They still have holes on the defense, but that did help them. And they have great leadership with Carroll and Wilson. So I think, and like you said, the Dolphins are going nowhere, and this is like a 4-win season if they get that much.
You know, the other thing is that with Luck gone, they don't need pass rush as much as they need protection for their quarterback. You know, that whole division is not great when it comes to passing threats, and they are more. They just got to make sure they protect that. Last year, I think they had an outrageous number of sacks on that team, and they needed to protect their quarterback.
Well, Watson definitely needed protection. I'm glad they did that. You hate to see. I mean, he'd be the next Luck retiring in his 20s if they keep banging on him. So that helped. Anything else going into our first real football week this week? I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, big game on Thursday in Chicago. I'm going to point out one thing. New England is playing Pittsburgh in the other high-profile game. And the last 3 times New England has played Pittsburgh, they've beaten them by 10 points or more. That's a situation where Belichick really has their number. They've beaten in the last 3 years. They've beaten them by more than 10 points. I think New England getting them at home, their opening game, I think that's something to be aware of. And New England's had a very good preseason defensively, and they've added some help in their passing game. They're loaded with receivers right now. Kansas City is another team that always starts off strong. And they're playing Jacksonville. I think, those are teams that start strong. Baltimore always plays well at Miami. Miami's down to nothing. There's some interesting matchups to start the season with, but I'm not anxious to see it get started. I thought I got the points last night. We gave that out, and that came through for us. Although I thought that watching that new quarterback that they have at Oklahoma, he had some huge numbers. Houston's quarterback King doesn't throw the ball very well, but he runs the ball well. And, Houston managed to come through with a cover in the game. But I thought that was a lot of points, and I got that cheap touchdown at the end. It gave me the over in the game too, so that was a good night for me. And but the other game that was costly to me was the big game on Saturday night in Dallas, where you had a team, Oregon, that blew a 15-point lead, and I question some of the things. That coach is a good friend of mine from Miami at Oregon, but they got a bad break in that their quarterback got hurt on a play, and they had a 4th and inches situation, or 4th and a yard, and he had to come out of the game because he got hurt on the 3rd down play. And by the way, it was a late hit that he got hurt on too, which they didn't call. But so they should have had a 1st down. I thought the officials blew that. But in any event, they put in a redshirt freshman at quarterback to try and get that extra yard. And the announcers knew what they were going to run. They were going to run the play off tackle to the left. The world knew that's where they were going. And so they stuffed him for a 2-yard loss. And that gave the ball to Nix. Who took him right down the field, and instead of getting in position for a field goal, which would have been okay for the cover, he threw for a touchdown pass. That was a very tough beat for me.
Yeah, I'll say, and they were talking about what was the worst beat of the weekend. Well, Oregon would definitely be one of them, and the other one was the Northwestern game.
Yeah.
That was horrible, and unfortunately, I was on the wrong side of that one. I didn't have the Oregon-Auburn game, but I did have the Northwestern side.
Well, I was on the wrong side of both of those games. But I had Fresno, which bailed me out a little bit.
Yep, I had Fresno as well. Yeah, it was. You get strings like that where you get the bad beats and the good beats and all the other stuff. So it balances out in the long run, hopefully. And I'm excited about what's going on this week. We've got the baseball game. We got the Mets and the Washington Nats. And I mean, nobody's talking about baseball anymore. That football's here, but that's a big game.
Yeah, baseball has become a colossal bore to me because you got to give so much with the teams that are good right now. I have a bunch of day games today because it's Labor Day. So there are a lot of early starts. So if you want to get down, you better get down early. And Notre Dame is playing Louisville tonight in a college game. And this is a pretty good Notre Dame team, but they're giving a lot of points against Louisville. And although the numbers come down a little bit,
that's right.
But Notre Dame is loaded. Although they've got injuries at the linebacker position right now, but they've got a bunch of guys on defense who are going to be high draft picks, from what I understand. And they've got a good quarterback this year, so and they've got a stud running back too. So this is going to be a good year for Notre Dame, but I don't know if they can cover that big number against Louisville, who isn't bad, and it's a home game for Louisville.
Well, that's a happy holiday to everybody out there. It's nice to have a nice weekend, and we'll be back here Wednesday with another report. Hank, anything else you want to add before we sign off?
Closing day at Del Mar, and there's a big 2-year-old stakes race, Del Mar Futurity, and Baffert's loaded for that race. And that's it. They moved to Los Al after today, and then they're winding down at Saratoga too. So that's about it. Now they're going to be getting ready for the Breeders' Cup, which is the first weekend in November.
Right.
So we've got time to get ready for the next big racing day.
That'll be exciting too. All right, Hank, have a great day. We'll talk to you again on Wednesday.
All right, Jim.
Thank you, Hank. Everybody, make sure you sign up for our free play each and every day. And you can do that on our website, jimfeist.com. Hank's picks, my picks are there each and every day. And we look forward to a really profitable football season and closing out an exciting baseball season as well. Thanks, everybody.